What's up everyone, True Blue here, and Nintendo? Oh Nintendo, oh Nintendo, you really got me to spend money on your expansion service for your terrible online, and I didn't want to buy the expansion pack, I really didn't. But then they put Game Boy and Game Boy Advance. God, was I happy. They're putting Amazing Mirror. I just want to play that with multiple people for once. I was really happy, so I bought it, unfortunately. And I want to talk about it. Not necessarily my thoughts on the whole thing, because I've been very openly against their just terrible online service. I actually want to talk about some games I think they could put. Games I'd like to see. Just in general, some stuff for Game Boy and Game Boy Advance that might come to it eventually, hopefully. Probably not for most of these games. I think there's only like one game on here that actually, I actually think has a chance. But I picked 5 games from Game Boy Advance, 5 games from Game Boy. Most of them are for Game Boy Color. You'll see why in a minute. And I just kind of want to talk about games show up on here because you can be fun to play. Just a few things going in. I decided to exclude games that are like part of like series because like all the Wario Land games could have shown up. Would love to have those. I think there's a chance since one of them's on, so I decided to exclude those. Pokemon. It's likely with Pokemon Day, the 3DS shutting down. Like Pokemon, I think is strong, so I decided to avoid any game that I feel like it's likely with the knowledge we have, or it's connected to a game that we have on one of those or one of the other. Just you have access onto it on Switch some way. I decided to exclude those and pick games specifically that I think deserve some more limelight, and they could get it here. With that being said, that's all I really got. I just kind of wanted to rant a bit about some games I'd love to play for myself, in a legal manner, of course. So, they're in no particular order as well. I just kind of threw down what my brain said was the order, so... Yeah, everything... I don't really have any strong attachment. I just want to play these games. Anyway, if you want to see more content like this... let me know in the comments below. Also, tell me games you want to see for just any of the Switch Online things. Because I know there's going to be some obscure-ass games that someone's going to be like, man, I'd love to play them. Be like, I'd never heard of that in my life, but good for you, my friend. Good for you. Anyway, on with the video. Alright, Game Boy. So I just want to preference this. I have 5 games. One of them, and I mean only one of them, was made for the original Game Boy. The rest are Game Boy Color. And I just want to specify that since they merged basically Game Boy and Game Boy Color libraries into just one thing, I just really feel like if we're gonna get something, I specifically want to see more Game Boy Color games because it was those Game Boy Color exclusives were so short-lived in my opinion, especially in America. And I feel like just a lot of them are like hidden gems or just really forgotten. So it'd be cool if we got to play them, and a lot of them just, there's no way of really playing them besides Game Boy Color. Game Boy usually gets the limelight like those older games, so... Speaking of that, I just want to say, we need Kid Icarus of Myths and Monsters. This is the only game on the OG Game Boy, and most of you probably are sitting here, what the heck is Kid Icarus of Myths and Monsters? All I know is Uprising. The original Kid Icarus came out on NES, people like that. A million years later, we got Uprising. Between that, there was actually a sequel. This entire time, there was a second game, exclusive to the Game Boy. Yeah, it was only available on 3DS Virtual Console. Mind you, the 3DS service is shutting down, so a lot of these games that are exclusive to that nowadays, I have a feeling they have a strong chance. This is a whole other topic, but I just want to preface that. It's the first ever sequel to Kid Icarus. I don't really care for the OG Kid Icarus. I love Uprising. I don't really care for the first one, I'll be honest. But to all my Kid Icarus fans, I feel like they would eat this up. And it's also just such a novelty. And I think it's just cool if you could play the OG duo. And then maybe one day we'll be able to play Uprising on Switch. Here's hoping. But it'd be so cool if you could have it, because a lot of people have been talking about it, that we have the entire Metroid collection. OG Metroid, Metroid 2, Super Metroid, GBA, and Dread. All 5 games on the console. We also have Prime 1. We're getting Prime 4. We have so many Metroid games. Just give us the rest categories. There's like not that many. What the hell? Okay, time for the Game Boy Color games. Kirby Tilt and Tumble. This is probably the only game on here with like a big name like that from Nintendo. Kirby Tilt and Tumble. You had to use old school gyro controls. You had to move your entire console as the cartridge itself would tilt and tumble. Like, as you move, that Kirby would move in the game. Why do I want to see a game that's gonna play terrible? Simple solution. Imagine how nice a game... Kirby Tilt and Tumble, people say, is decent if the controls were better. If they put it on Switch, implement some form of gyro controls or motion controls from the Joy-Cons. How much better would that game be? Oh my god, that'd be amazing. You could play Tilt and Tumble in a good format. And I honestly, that's something that I feel like will never happen. Just in all honesty, but it'd be so awesome if it did. So I'm gonna just sit here and pray that Hal is just like, you know what, let's put Tilt and Tumble on this bad boy, let's put gyro controls. So much extra work for just an old game, but it again, it's a novelty, it really is. Especially because it's Game Boy Color. Like, no one's touched this thing in so long. Now here's a little history lesson for this next one. This is the final Nintendo published game for the Game Boy Color. Yes, Nintendo did publish this. That's the only reason it's on this list, because Nintendo published this game. Hamtaro, Hams Unite. Hamtaro, hamster anime, cute little hamster anime. I've never seen it. I guess it was kind of popular. I don't know. I've just watched Antu's video on the franchise. This is on here for the sole purpose of it's one of those things that's such like a niche, such a specific thing, and it's licensed at that. But goddamn it, would it be funny if we got that? Because it was the last game published for the Game Boy. It's like, it's Hamtaro. It's Hamtaro, right? That would just be so funny to me. It's the only reason why. Like, I'd probably play it for that novelty's sake, and that's it. I didn't even know these games existed till I started doing research for games I'd like to see on this. Mega Man Extreme. There's no E, just Extreme. 1 and 2. I'm just gonna put both games on here because I'm forgetting one reading the other. Just how it is. These were Mega Man X games for the Game Boy Color. Okay. I don't really talk about it too much. I love the X games. The OG Mega Man's kind of shit. But like Battle Network, Star Force, and fucking X. Oh my god, eat that shit up. Eat that shit up. I love those. And the only way to play Extreme 1, Extreme 2 has yet to be on like anything else to my knowledge besides Game Boy Color. It was available on 3DS Virtual Console, which is shutting down. So, put it on here. No, listen, Capcom barely cares about this franchise. The Game Boy one is the free one out of the two, so I feel like they'll put less work into these games. Just put Mega Man Extreme on here. No one's gonna touch these games. But man, would I love to see what the heck these games were, because like I literally did not know they exist. And I just really want to see what they were about, because I love Mega Man X, and just the fanboy in me just really wants to see it. This last one, Conker's Pocket Tales for the Game Boy Color. I thought this was a GBA game, I'll be completely honest. It was a Game Boy Color game, actually. For those who don't know, Conker's Bad Fur Day, huge game back on N64. Any fan probably has heard of the Conker condoms. I really wish I didn't know about those, but they exist. Rareware, guys who made Banjo-Kazooie, Donkey Kong 64, there's Donkey Kong Country. This game is the original view they had of Conker, where he was going to be kid-friendly and whatnot, and this is the only remaining piece of content, the only playable content besides Diddy Kong Racing, that has Conker in this kind of kid-friendly state. And this is the original view of what Conker's Bad Fur Day was going to be, just on an inferior console. And it's never been re-released. It's like barely brought up, and it would just be really cool. Like, there's no shot we're getting Bad Fur Day. I just want to preface that. I'd love to play Bad Fur Day on 64 online. We're not getting that because of the age rating. Like, that's just how it is. That game, it hasn't aged well in that sense. Just the game. But Pocket Tales, being kid-friendly, like, literally, like, a squeaky clean E for everyone, I think it'd be amazing if we had that. At the very least, it's just amazing, because it is, mind you, it's older than Bad Fur Day. I want to preface that. It's older than Bad Fur Day. This game predates that. This is the first Conker game at that. It would just be nice. It'd be cool. It'd be nice. This is, like, the novelty of novelties. And I don't even know if it might be the first, might be the last, might be the first Game Boy Color game ever made. It would just be cool. I just want to see it. I'd love to play it. Out of everything on this list, I would 100% play this the most, because this is just a history lesson for me, and I'd love to experience it. Anyway, with all of the Game Boy talk out of the way, onto just the console I freaking adore with all of my heart, the GBA, baby. So, for the GBA games, I literally don't expect a singular one of these. I'll be completely honest. All of these are long shots. These are all just games I've really wanted to play, or I just have attachment to in some shape or way. And I you know what? Here, I think if I just go into the first game, you'll see what I mean. Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. For those who don't know, Squeenix is a stingy company. They literally wouldn't give more than 2 songs to Cloud back in the old Smash days before Sephiroth. We're not getting Chain of Memories. That's just a given. But I'm only throwing this out here because there's no way to play the OG Chain of Memories. The only way to play Chain of Memories as it was originally made and written, because it's not fully one-to-one, it's very similar, but it's like not one-to-one with Rechain, which is the way everyone's played that game. Everyone who experienced the story did Rechain of Memories, not the OG. That is why I want Chain of Memories, because there's no way to play this game. There really isn't, and I don't know, as a huge Kingdom Hearts fan, it's just one of those little novelty pieces, and I mean, this can make up for the cloud versions we got on Switch. Still mad about that, but I mean, I get it. I get it for 3, but the rest I don't. I really don't. What? Squeenix, you stir. God, anyway, Sonic Advance. Like the last video I did was a Sonic Advance video. I love the Sonic Advance series. They're good games, and I don't necessarily expect all 3, at the very least the first one. There's no real way to play this today. I just want to specify that, like, console Sonic, you can get that like everywhere now. Handheld Sonic, nowhere. Like, I am impressed, genuinely impressed, how preserved information and like footage there is of just handheld Sonic games. Because literally, it's the OG console. That's it. No way to experience like any of those games. And I mean, you have to pay for GBA Online already. The Sega has the Genesis. They've really been hyping up Sonic. Why don't you put a good side game on there? I've said it. It's good. Just give us the first one at the very least. I'm not saying the whole series. I would love if you gave us the whole series. I will not complain in the slightest, let me tell you. But this is just one of those, like, I could see Sega pulling this move, which is why I throw it on the... It's such a Sega move. I mean, a real Sega move would be Sonic 1, 2, and just not give us 3. That's a whole other thing, but... Yeah, Sonic Advance, they're good games. I love them. I did a video on them. So you know I really love them, because I actually put effort into talking about them. Klonoa! Klonoa Empire of Dreams released for the GBA just a long time ago. I don't think it's seen the limelight since. Capcom just doesn't care. Like, genuinely does not care about Klonoa. We saw what they did with the, what is it? The Fantasy Collection, whatever it was called. They like a year ago at this point, they released, the first 2 big games in the series. And, like, no one talked about it. They didn't advertise it. They barely cared about it. Like, they don't care about Klonoa. The sad truth. So just how about you make a couple extra bucks because you put it on Switch Online or something? I'm just saying. I would like to play more Klonoa, please. Yes? No? You listening? You're not? Of course you're not. Anyway, Pac-Man 99. Just, in all seriousness, no, it would just be. This goes back to the whole novelty thing with the Game Boy games. This is one of those like I get it. It would just be nice. Another. I was gonna say big name, but like just in quotes, big name to add to the set. All right, so this next one I have here, was made by fucking Game Freak. Okay, Drill Dozer. Everyone, everyone and their mother. We talked about GBA. It's like Drill Dozer. Love that game. I literally have yet to see like a single person with a cartridge of it. I don't know like anyone who's actually played that game. I have yet to see like a full like video that doesn't just kind of throw it in like the mix, like a full video talking about this. Everyone hypes up this game, but I swear I never see anyone like actually play it. And the only place to really play is the Wii U Virtual Console. And let's be honest, who's playing the Wii U? So, solution, you put it on Switch Online. Now, I know what you're gonna say, but like, it's a good game. I'm just gonna throw it on here. Well, you want to really make it good? That game, it had the cartridge itself had this like, God, it was like it was sort of like a rumble feature. It had these weird things to it. Guess what the Joy-Cons will be able to do? Yep, that's what I'm saying. Give us Drill Dozer with extra Joy-Con support. Make that game amazing. You can make that game absolutely amazing. You make it better than it was before. The bit crunch would be shit, but you know what? I would still play it. Put my foot down. I feel like Drill Dozer would be amazing. And out of everything on this list, this is the one I want to see the most. Genuinely, this is the one I feel like has the best chance to see the most with these new features. Like, genuinely be the best experience of all these games I've listed in this video. Except the last one. It's a bit special. So, GBA. Amazing catalog of games. It's one of the best generations of Pokemon. There, I said it. But there's one series on here that people in the West have been waiting to see. Mother 3, which would be Earthbound 2 in America. We gotta accept that. Look, I'm not gonna sit here and say we're getting Mother 3, but this is the most Nintendo move I've ever like thought of in my entire life. That I expect some shit like this can happen. If not, even if they don't, it'll be Japan exclusive. At the very, Mother 3 is coming. That is a guarantee. If we can play both Earthbound Beginnings and Earthbound with Mother 1 and 2, we're getting Mother 3. I just money down on that. So what do I mean the most Nintendo move? Paid service. You know Nintendo wants that money. You know they want to get at least $50 out of you. It's like a whole game right there. Yeah, I mean, it's not that $70 Tears of the Kingdom video for another time. But it's still a nice hefty number. But man, people just aren't buying this. Do they not want to play N64? Game Boy Advance? Clearly the Genesis ain't helping. So what do you do? Well, for the people in the West here, there's been a game they've been clamoring for, an actual localization for. They want money, they can get it. You throw that sucker on GBA Online, skyrocket. Look at the sales. It's in the sky. Look at it. Whoa, crazy. You want money, Nintendo? You put that on here. Give the fans not only what they want, make bank. Who loses in this situation, Nintendo? Who loses? Tell me. Oh wait, no one loses. Put Mother 3, you cowards. If not, I got nothing, because it's honestly very likely they won't, because that's Nintendo right for you. The sad truth of every Earthbound fan. I literally had like a list of notes on the side that was like just a few things so I could reference back to, and I just kind of ranted about why each of these games has like a good shot and why I want to play them personally. Again, I only really expect Drill Dozer. Like, out of all these 10 games, the only one I expect, Drill Dozer. The rest, I don't think they'll ever see the light of day again, unless it was on 3DS Virtual Console. But with that service shutting down, if it's on there and it's from, you know, NES, SNES, Game Boy, whatever, they'll push it onto here, unless it's on the Wii U as well. In that case, it's stuck on a shit console. But I really love all these games. Like, I know I joked about some of them, like, I probably want to play it, just novelty. Honestly, all these games are actually appeal to me in some way, shape, or form, so I would play them. The one I'm least likely to play, funny enough, is Chain of Memories. And that's just because I really don't care about the card mechanic. Like, I haven't cared about any of the games. The one it started in, trust me, I'm gonna care about the least. But I'll give it a shot. And I mean, like, again, the color games, I swear they don't see enough limelight. And I was gonna throw it on here, and then I realized it's on modern consoles, which I was amazed at. Shantae, I literally did not know you could actually like get like the Game Boy Color version of Shantae on Switch. It's available. It's $10 in the eShop, and like recently, like WayForward did like a thing with God, what are they? Limited Run. They produced like more Shantae cartridges because, you know, the aftermarket price for that thing is terrible. And that goes for a lot of these. Like, they're just hard to find, hard to play on like legit systems. I mean, who the hell ever heard about Mega Man Extreme? So these are all novelties. They all really are novelties, but I'd love to play every single one of them, and that's just the truth of it all. And honestly, they got me to spend my money already, so clearly they don't care what I have to say. But if they want a bit more money, you know, just a tiny bit more, they'll listen. At the very least, give us Mother 3. Come on, Nintendo, please. You know, put the fucking main character in Smash, but you won't give us his actual game here. What the hell? Anyway, that all being said, thank you all so much for making it this far. I've been really loving GB Online. I don't really give shit about Game Boy because the game's on there. But I've already beaten all of the games on there, like, beforehand. I'm just like, I didn't put for, you know, I'm just kind of waiting for Oracle to come out, but I'm still excited all the same. I think it's awesome that we're getting those. And God help us if we get Pokemon. If I have so much more I can say on Switch Online. If you want to see me talk about N64, because God knows we're not getting anything for NES or SNES anymore, but it'd be nice, but I doubt we will. I'll gladly do it. I have so much more to say just on Switch Online as a whole, and I even mentioned it, but I plan on doing Tears of the Kingdom, so make sure to subscribe and stay around, because I have some words for everything surrounding that game at the current moment, if you haven't seen that nice price point on the eShop. Before I go off on another tangent, I'll thank you all again for making it this far. Thank you all so much for watching as well, and I wish you all a lovely day. See you next time.